What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Formula for Speed. I'm your host, Chad, and I'm here again with my lovely co-host, Babyface. Please say hello, Babyface.
Hello.
Guys, we're here to talk about a very near and dear, how do I say, colleague or just an ambassador for the sport for many years, Murray Walker. Babyface. Probably the all-time favorite commentator for a lot of people, me included. Guys, for a lot of Formula One fans, if you've been following the sport for a number of years, such as myself, Babyface as well, you guys know about Murray Walker. Had some of the funniest quotes in Formula One history, Babyface, when it came to commentating. I mean, some of the things he would say in reference to the drivers, the teams. For me, he kept it fun while watching the race, especially as a kid when I was watching it. He kept it really fun. How do you feel, Babyface? What do you think?
He is, when I think Formula One and I think of a voice to commentate, I think of his voice. Yeah. I will admit, as more time goes on, I am starting to think his voice and Crofty's, because I've really gotten used to Crofty's.
Yeah.
You know, Crofty introduced lights out and away we go. Yeah. And so that now to me is synonymous with Formula One. But by far, Murray Walker, he was the voice that I would associate with.
Yeah, like you, I'm getting used to Karun Chandhok.
Yes.
I almost said Murray. Karun Chandhok and the rest of the gang.
Brundle,
Brundle.
I've gotten used to Brundle. It'd be weird to not have either of the commentators that we've just gotten used to.
Right. But
for a very long time before they stepped in, it was Murray Walker.
Murray Walker. Guys, let us know in the comments. How do you... I mean, for us, he made it fun. Let us know what your thoughts are on Murray Walker. I think he brought the fun to Formula One when it came to the commentating piece of it. And Babyface, you have some of the quotes. I know you do.
Listen, Murray, he had some. He said exactly what was on his mind.
Yeah, he did. And very blunt.
Now, many times he would have little verbal blunders.
Right.
But he owned those. He actually, there's a quote that I will find by the end of this video where he says, I'm human, and I wouldn't change those blunders that I've made because guess what? This is a live sport. I'm commentating live.
Yeah.
So mistakes are bound to happen. But there were many times where he said things that were just so sharp, and they cut to the bone with who he was referring to. Let me see. So one of the quotes that I enjoy of his is, unless I'm very much mistaken, I am very much mistaken. This would have been Senna's third win a row if he'd won the two before. The lead car is unique except for the one behind it, which is identical.
Was he talking about, I think, Williams or McLaren?
I don't recall.
I have to go back and check.
But on making mistakes, he said, I don't make mistakes. I make prophecies which immediately turn out to be wrong.
You can't, I mean, I feel like Babyface, for live commentating, you have to have a certain personality. And I think his was
absolutely perfect. To make it interesting. Not only do you have to know about the sport that you're commentating on or commenting on, the dogs definitely agree with us.
They agree.
So you have to know your subject, as the dogs strongly voice their support for that. But you also have to have, you don't have to, but it would be beneficial to have a sense of humor, some wit, and you need to be quick on your feet, and because anything can happen at any moment, and you can't just get stuck in surprise like the rest of us watching. You need to be able to talk us through it.
I mean, for me, it's hard. He made it look easy, but I think a lot of people may take it for granted that it is not easy to commentate live.
Oh yeah,
like you got to be quick on your feet. You got to be, and you have to keep people engaged. Because I've watched some events where the commentators go silent and it's like dead air, and they don't really have anything to say. But him, always something to say.
One of those moments where he had to just fix what he said during one race. He said, Mansell is slowing it down, taking it easy. Oh, no, he isn't. It's a lap record.
you see what I mean? Like, I mean, he was good on it. He was quick on his feet.
Jenson Button is in the top 10 in 11th position. Andrea de Cesaris, the man who has won more Grand Prix than anybody else in history of Grand Prix racing without actually winning one of them.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean?
So yeah, he owned his little gaffes. He definitely just monumental in his contribution to the sport and allowing us to live it through not just by what we saw visually, but he lent his voice and his thoughts and his opinions for us to get a more immersive experience, because he was in essence able to verbalize or articulate what was going on through most of our minds, and he just said it, and many of us were left nodding in agreement to what he was saying. It's like, yes, what you just said, yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of what people would call, or he would call, blunders, surprisingly, that's some of the very things people remember the most, right? Some of the things he would say, the real sharp, witty comments he would say, then go back and correct himself. But people remember those.
Yeah.
Williams had a great one of his sayings on the halo of their car, which was really good.
That's really nice. But he was also very blunt, as we mentioned a moment ago. I just happened to find one of those quotes. He said, "Tambay's hopes, which were nil before, are absolutely zero now." So, and there are many, many more. If you just go online, Google his quotes, you will find pages upon pages of quotes from Murray Walker. And this was actually the last thing that I wanted to mention. He said, "I wouldn't want to stop making those gaffes. Even if I could, people realize I'm flesh and blood. I'm not sensitive about it. It's just my enthusiasm. I want to say so much more than I have time for." And I think that, in essence, really grasps Murray Walker. He was so enthusiastic about what he was commenting on, what he was commentating on, and what he was lending his voice to. And that is, you can't replace that. If you have someone that's not enthusiastic, sincerely enthusiastic, and really loves the sport and knows the drivers and has a personal connection to that sport, it's just not quite going to feel the same. And he really had a gift of making it seem like we were sitting right next to him, and it was just him next to us in our family room, watching the television, watching the race. And he's just, your grandfather, your uncle, your dad that's sitting next to you, just calling out at the TV screen. That was the way it felt when he was lending his voice to the sport and commenting on it. And so, he will be greatly, greatly missed. Greatly missed.
Yeah, 97 years old. 97 years old. I think he was in Formula One for many years. I'm not sure the exact amount, but I'm pretty sure it was I want to say close to 50, if not more. I could be wrong.
He was around for a lot.
But he touched so many eras of Formula One. It was kind of, even when he walked away from the sport, I think Crafty was saying that, he would still reach out, guys, and try to figure out what was going on. Because I think he retired from full-time F1 commentating in 2016. Then I believe he started covering another series, another Grand Prix series, and retired from that in 20, which is last year. So up to the very end, he was still involved in Grand Prix racing. And because he was around, a fun fact, he was around a lot of loud engines for so many years. Mm-hmm. They said that contributed to or helped in his loss of hearing, I think, in his left ear. Because back, you guys got to remember, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even most of the 90s, they have the technology they have now. You can plug your ears. I don't think he plugged his. I think he just, kind of like what I would do, just go to the track and you enjoy the cars. You know what I mean? You're not concerned about so much of the noise because you're so enthusiastic to be there,
So Murray, he commentated on his first Grand Prix in 1949 and became a full-time F1 commentator in 1978, which he continued to do through 2001. So I mean, he started commentating obviously before I was alive.
Yeah.
He started commentating when my dad was little, so irreplaceable. And that's obviously not taking away anything from the current commentators that we have, which I think do a fabulous job. But 23 years of full-time commentating on Formula One and being synonymous with the sport. Yeah, he will be greatly missed. It does sadden me a little bit, but obviously that's you know, he had a very long and happy life. But it does sadden me that the next generation that's coming up, they won't benefit from those witty quotes or comments.
Well, they can. You got to go on the F1 app and you have to watch the old races. You got to watch the archive races because I thought it, like I said, I thought he returned for a little bit and actually was done with F1 for a while. Done with F1, retired, should I say, in 2016. But still,
he certainly wasn't doing it full time between 2001 to 2016.
No, he wasn't. But he was 97 years old when he passed. So
very long life. I imagine at the rate that we're going, chances are that our generation and younger, they're gonna Crofty is gonna be synonymous with Formula One. But yes, in short, greatly missed, great talent. And he will be greatly missed because he brought so much joy to watching the sport and listening to him.
Yeah, all the teams, I mean, all the drivers, they know him, they love him. He has a star on the Walk of Fame in Birmingham in England. So, guys, let us know in the comments, please. What do you feel about maybe list some of your favorite quotes from Murray Walker that you can remember. And when you first heard his voice for the first time with race, if you can remember that. Again, guys, we appreciate you. We just wanted to make this video to show our appreciation for Murray Walker and what he contributed to the sport. And again, this is Formula for Speed, guys. We appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bells because we're going to be recording every week, and we're also bringing back our other favorite videos. We've got time, Babyface.
We've got time.
Let's talk about it. So, from Chad, Babyface, please say bye to the people.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm trying to introduce that this year as well. Babyface saying bye to people.
Oh. Yeah. Are we doing that?
We're doing it, Babyface. You got to do it. We're doing it. You have to.
Oh.
Yes. But again, guys, we appreciate it. We will see you for the review. Bahrain.
Guys,
it was a good one.